What's up, everyone? All right, so Green Day recap here, and before I get into it, I want to thank Yolanda for sending me this awesome book. This is the same, almost the same Land Rover that I have. This one's much more colorful. It's pretty darn cool looking. I love these old Land Rovers. They're so fun. And then I opened the book, and the first page that I flipped to was a John Deere Gator, which I wasn't expecting to see. That's the same Gator that I have, except mine's gas and this one's diesel. But man, this was really cool. So thanks, Yolanda, for sending this over. And then when I opened the book, it says the book is dedicated to my favorite passenger and navigator, who not only shares my passion for cars, but also indulges me with my own collection, my wife, Yolanda. So now I'm putting two and two together, and I'm thinking, wait a second, is this, because it was sent from Yolanda. So thank you so much. That's super cool. This is awesome. And you know what's funny is I actually have the Man and His Watch book as well. So now I have the pair. So thank you for sending this. This was a very cool gift. Very cool. All right, so that's gonna sit over there, right by the window. So today, you know, as I sat down, I just kind of wasn't feeling it. We didn't have a lot that was looking good. Momentum gap scanner was kind of just, biggest gapper was 60%. Float was 58 million shares. It was thickly traded. It is currently lower than the open. We just didn't have a lot that looked good. So we're in a little bit of a slump here, waiting for, I guess, the next big Momo stock, which, you know, the last kind of little round of momentum was NFT Catalyst. But I didn't trade it super well, partly because the stock wiki, the news came out at 1 p.m. on last week, whatever day it was, when it ripped and made the big move. So I'm not usually trading in the afternoon. I'm trying to sort of, you know, section off my day where I'll trade in the morning and then I just never trade in the afternoon. Because the problem is, when you do it sometimes, then you feel like the day you do it and you lose, you're like, man, why did I do that? The day you don't do it and you miss a trade, you're like frustrated. So you kind of just have to set a rule of I either always do it or I never do it. Again, that's easier said than done. Certainly when the market's really hot, you might think, well, this is a time I should keep trading a little later in the day. And if we keep noticing a pattern of afternoon momentum, you might at a certain point feel like maybe I need to adapt or adjust my schedule to adapt to this current market. And I get that, but I'm trying to just sort of have, this is the time that I trade, and then this is the time that I do other stuff. And so my time is morning, you know, 8:30 to 9:30, 10:30, maybe 11, that kind of window, which is usually when I've done the best historically. And so today, during that window, we didn't have much. VTSI was the one I made the most on, and it was choppy, and it did a nice red to green move into a halt, which I missed, but then bought on the resumption for a dip and then a rip. But man, you know, nothing's really holding up right now. So this is the ebb and the flow of trading. I'm gonna try not to get too kind of bent out of shape about it. I've had a good month here, but finishing with some small green days. Yesterday was up 10 grand, today up 7,800. So, you know, kind of just like limping across the finish line at the end of March here. And then of course the first day of April is gonna be Thursday, then the market's closed on Friday. So I'm not sure what tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday are gonna have for us, but you never know. We'll just trade the market we're in. That's the name of the game. Trade the market we're in. If it's volatile, capitalize on volatility. If it's slow, ease off the throttle. So, as a reminder, in case you didn't already know, day trading is risky. Most beginner traders lose money, and with that in mind, you should practice in a simulator before you put real money on the line. Don't assume that my results are typical, because they're not. All right, now, let's do that intro, and I hope you guys really enjoy the recap. Please hit the thumbs up if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. We're working towards 1 million subscribers on this channel right here. We are at 820,000 with 180,000 to go. So we're not gonna get there without your help. So please hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and share the video with a couple of your friends that you think might be interested in learning a little bit about trading the markets. All right, enjoy the recap, and I'll see you first thing tomorrow for the live morning show. right, so we're gonna do a quick recap here. Kind of a slow day, just I guess as I thought it might be. Up 7,800 during the pre-market morning show. I said that I sort of thought today seemed like a $5,000 to $10,000 a day type of market. I was not expecting a $20,000, $30,000 day. Now, sometimes, you want to visualize a big green day, and it's important to be optimistic. But honestly, looking at the gap scanner today, being realistic is important as well. And our leading gapper was CSCW, which is a 58 million share float stock. As you can see, it actually did a nice red to green move here, but then it rejected it completely. VTSI was the second leading gapper. It ripped into a halt right here at 777, and then on resumption, it did a dip long, 12,000 shares into a rip, and then another dip right here with about 25,000 shares into this pop here up to 9. My best exit on VTSI was at, 906, which is not too bad. But that was the only one I traded, and now it's pulled back as well. So, we just haven't had a lot of really nice momentum today. This has 29 million shares of volume. It is easy to borrow. The float 7 million shares. CSCW, as I said, that one's pulling back as well. BioC was on watch, but sold off at the open. PFMT, this one's actually hitting the scanners right now, although it's a little on the cheap side. I'm not really that interested in that. Robert asked, what made me not want to get into the halt on VTSI? I would have loved to have been long on that halt, but I missed it. It went without me. And so it was halted, and I didn't have a chance to get in. It squeezed too fast, and at the moment, I wasn't looking at that stock. I was looking at something else. So I would have, but I just missed it. My target on it was about 911, which was this pivot right here, and it did break that up to 926, but really, this was pretty much right to that pivot before it pulled back. ORPH on the halt scanner, kind of an unusual move here. This one, there was news that they missed both their endpoints in this trial they were doing. Halt up was at 1024, so we saw it on the halt scanner right here, 932, I guess it was, 933. So it's halted up, and I pulled it up, and I was like, all right, well, okay, it's a stock that's a therapeutics company. Those sometimes make big moves. It has all-time high at 1478. That looks interesting as well. Excuse me. And that was when it was down at 10. But I was like, well, what's up with the catalyst? And I saw the catalyst was this, what I interpreted to be a bad news headline. And so given we had this sort of bad news out, I thought it didn't make sense to be a buyer, but on the resumption, it dipped to 11 and ripped up and halted at 1276 without me. Then it opens and rips up to 1473, again, without me. On resumption, it taps 1478, which is a double top against all-time highs, reversed and halted going down at 1327, and is now halted going down and is likely going to resume and continue to sell off. So, this one went without me. I hesitated on it. I sort of tried to do a little fundamental analysis of the catalyst and missed a technical opportunity. But it was on lighter volume, which means bigger share size would have been probably more difficult. So all things considered, while it did move from what could have been a best entry of around 1125 or 1150 up to 14, it seems like there might even be more potential on the reverse side of this, coming back down off that double top, but I don't have shares available to borrow. And in any case, I missed it. So that's that. JFIN, this one has just in the last few minutes made this kind of big squeeze here from 8 to 850, pullback, then up to 950, pullback, and up to 1024. No news. There's no news on it. And I just don't feel like the market is hot enough for me to be jumping on something with no news. But again, this one went without me, and so maybe I'm being a little more conservative. But the thing is, we're at the end of the month. Tomorrow's the last day of the month, and all things considered, this month has been pretty decent. I've managed to avoid getting smoked really, really badly on anything. I have 2 red days, both around 30,000, 25 and 30,000. That's including fees and commissions. Had a great start to the month, built a cushion, and then with that cushion, I was like, all right, man, whatever you do, don't lose the cushion. Because when you look back at the month of, if we look at the calendar and we look at the month of January and February, in January, I was red the first 2 weeks and lost 150 grand. Spent the rest of the month trying to dig myself out of the hole, which I did thanks to a $470,000 green day. That was the best green day I've ever had in my career. So that was great in January, but I still was not happy to have been down 150 grand in the first 2 weeks. Then come February, losing $270,000 in one day on my birthday. Dug myself a $300,000 hole, which I then spent the rest of the month digging myself out of. And so my goal for March was to try not to do that. And I still have 1 day left in the month, but I've so far done a pretty good job. Got green, small red day, continued green, relatively small red day as far as my trading is concerned. Again, these aren't the smallest red days, but they're manageable. And I was able to recover from this one the very next day. I was able to recover from this one in 2 days. And so my equity curve on the month looks like this. Not bad. Really, actually, this is the whole year. So this is what I'm talking about. This caused a lot of stress. Now, sure, if I go back to June of 2020, and we make that picture a little bit bigger, this was January. So, what does it really matter if, I lose a little? But it's the beginning of a new month. A new year. It doesn't feel good to be in the red. And so I wanted to be a bit more, I just didn't want that to happen. And unfortunately this year I've set 2 new records in terms of biggest drawdowns. That's not what I was hoping to do, but right now I'm trying to kind of smooth things out. So my equity curve is flattening a little bit. It's not going kind of up as fast. And that's probably in a large part because I'm taking a little less risk, trying to kind of get into a little bit more of a kind of coasting here. So this has been the month of March right through here. And honestly, I would probably be a happier person with less stress if I just averaged like this for the rest of the year. And if that meant I didn't have this gigantic, rip of almost $1 million in 1 week, well, then that's okay. It would also mean I wouldn't have these big drawdowns because this type of gain is the result of taking high levels of risk, and this is what happens when you take high levels of risk. Sometimes it goes the wrong way. It's not to say that I probably won't have another big drawdown at some point this year, but I'm just hoping I can keep it reasonable. So anyways, that's a quick recap for today. VTSI is the only stock I traded. I did have a close call on it. I'm grateful to be green. On one of the dips right here, I got long in this red candle. It then dropped all the way down. No, sorry, I got long right here as it was dipping. It then drops all the way to 815, 811, bounced off the VWAP, and then rips back up to 9. And for a second there, I was down about 60 cents on 20,000 shares, and I was like, uh-oh, here we go. And then this right here, I tried to go long for the break at 9. I got a partial fill and only filled 394 shares. And then look at that nasty rejection. So honestly, today is just a choppy day. I'm grateful to be green, and I'll be back first thing tomorrow morning. Hopefully we start to see some better momentum, but this is the ebb and flow of trading. Some days are going to be better than others. Some weeks are going to be better than others, and we've been kind of trading through some choppy price action here for the last couple weeks. So I look forward to the next big momentum stock. Don't know that it'll be today or tomorrow. Might not be for a couple more trading sessions or sometime maybe next week. But, of course, when it comes and we have that big
just that surge of momentum, I know I can do really well. I know on a day like that, when everything is kind of dialed in and I'm feeling really confident, those can be $50,000, $75,000, $100,000 days for me. It's just the market, waiting for the market to provide that opportunity. So that's the game plan. I hope you guys enjoy the recap. Those on YouTube and Facebook watching the recap, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're working towards 1 million subscribers on YouTube, and we won't get there without your help. So please hit that thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys all first thing tomorrow morning for the live day trading morning show. All right, see you guys all in the morning.
I hope you really enjoyed that video, and make sure you hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Our goal is to hit 1 million subscribers this year, but we won't get there without your help. So please, please, please hit that subscribe button.